Roborock Saros 20 versus Roborock Saros 10R. And the real question is whether the pricier one earns that gap in your house or just on paper. Both are slim enough to slide under a bed, both wash their own mops, but one pulls harder and recognizes far more clutter on the floor. And people often complain the cheaper robots still need rescuing. By the end, you'll know which one fits your home. Let's break it down. So let's start with the part that decides most of these purchases, which is what actually ends up in the bin after a week of dog hair, sand, and crumbs. The Saros 20 pulls 36,000 pascals against 22,000 on the 10R, and both use an anti-tangle brush setup so long, hair doesn't wrap around the roller. That part is real on both, and it's the single biggest reason people stop dreading maintenance. But here's the practical difference. On hard floors, you'd be hard-pressed to notice the suction gap because both flatten everyday dust and crumbs without breaking a sweat. On carpet and rugs is where the 20 pulls ahead, especially with embedded pet hair. With the 10R, plenty of owners mention it needs a second pass to get carpet hair fully out, and the onboard bin fills fast in a shedding house. Careful with the headline number though, because the 20 isn't flawless on carpet either. Some owners still find debris left behind, so don't buy this one on 36,000 pascals alone. And all that suction is worth nothing if the robot spends its run stuck or lost. The 20 recognizes over 300 obstacle types with its front-mounted sensors and camera, while the 10R handles 108. In a house with cables, socks, and kid toys on the floor, that gap shows. The 10R is the one with the more documented issue here. And it's not just avoidance, it's navigation. Owners report it wandering, spinning, or burning battery trying to figure out where a room is. Some of that traces back to early firmware, but it's common enough that I wouldn't call it the safer pick for unattended whole home runs. On thresholds, the 20 climbs a double step up to 3.5 inches versus about 1.5 inches on the 10R. And that's a real upgrade if your bathroom saddle stops every robot you've owned. One thing that surprised me going the other way, if pet accidents are your nightmare scenario, the 20 is not the one to trust blind, and the 10R actually handles that better. Both docks do a lot for you, which is where most of your money goes. The 20 washes its mops with water up to 212 degrees, hot enough that pads don't turn sour, then dries with warm air and empties dust for around 65 days. The 10R runs its wash a bit cooler, up to 176 degrees, dries the same way, dispenses detergent automatically, and empties dust for roughly 70 days. Honestly, both are hands-free enough that you're topping up water and swapping a bag, not babysitting. The 10R's weak spot is that some owners report mop pads failing to detach or reattach, occasional drips after mopping, and the odd dock leak. Not everyone, but enough that it's worth knowing before you spend flagship money. Which brings up the part nobody puts on the front of the ad, the actual upkeep. Neither of these is set and forget. You're still emptying a dirty water tank that will get funky if you ignore it, wiping sensors, pulling the occasional clog out of the dock, and buying dust bags. And look at what one owner says about the Saros 10R. I've had it about 3 months, and it's one of the best things I've bought for the house. Hair never wraps around the brushes, which every other robot I've owned struggled with. It's basically ended sweeping and mopping for us. That lines up with what I keep seeing on the tangle side for both models. The 10R does have a documented bin clogging habit in heavy shedding homes, so bump up the auto-empty frequency if that's your house. On the 20, I'd just add that it's new enough that nobody has years of ownership on it, so buy where returns are simple. On height, both sit right around 3.1 inches, so if one slides under your sofa, the other will too. That's a tie. The app is the same one on both, with room routines, scheduling, no-go zones, and the pet camera. And it's still the best in the category once you take an evening to set it up. The only real difference is that the 20 takes 5 GHz Wi-Fi, while the 10R is 2.4 only, which matters if your router setup is fussy. Noise-wise, both run quieter than the older Roborocks people are upgrading from, and the 10R recharges in about 2.5 hours. So where does the extra money actually go? The Saros 20 costs quite a bit more, and you're paying for the stronger carpet pickup, the wider obstacle recognition, the taller threshold climbing, and the hotter mop wash. The 10R gives you the same slim body, the same app, and nearly the same dock automation for a lot less. Here's the call. For most homes, I'd take the Saros 20 because the stronger carpet pickup and the much wider obstacle recognition are what keep a robot running unattended instead of waiting for you to free it, and the taller threshold climbing settles it in older houses with raised saddles. If your floors are mostly hard surface and your home is tidy, the 10R gives you the same slim body and nearly the same dock for a lot less, so save the money. But if you've got a heavy shedder and toys and cords everywhere, the 20 is the one I'd trust. And if pet accidents are your real fear, no fluff. Neither one earns blind trust overnight. And you Which one would you pick? Let me know in the comments. Links below in the description.